Hi everyone! Today I have a quick tutorial regarding the guidelines and adjusting the width and height of your website. Being able to adjust the width of your page is great because you can adjust the working area of the content of your page. So here on my webpage you can see that there are multiple dotted lines spanning both the width and the height of the page. The vertical ones indicate the width, whereas the horizontal lines indicate the height. It's possible to turn the guidelines on and off by clicking on this icon here at the top. For the top section, otherwise known as the header section, you can adjust the height by clicking and dragging on the icon here on the left. In this section, you'll usually find the site logo as well as the menu bar, so it's a good idea to keep it reasonably sized. Just a note, the header section will appear on all of your web pages on your site, so the size changes that you make here will apply to the header section on all of your web pages. The middle section here is your content section, and this is where the actual content of the page will be found. First, you can adjust the height of the content section by clicking and dragging on this icon here at the bottom left. Dragging it bigger will allow you to add more content to the section and increase the size of your page. Unlike the header section, the height adjustments made to this content section are page specific, meaning that they will only affect this particular page. Guidelines can also be moved by clicking on the number inside of this arrow box. So you can see here I have 1039 pixels, so what I can do is just click and let's make it 1100. And you can see it adjusts it. This works for adjusting the width as well. So speaking of width, these vertical lines here are your site width guidelines. This controls the width of your web page. Now, if I'm using a high resolution computer to look at this website, I'll be able to see everything on the page, even content located outside of these site width guidelines. However, if I was to use a laptop, which usually has a lower resolution than a full HD widescreen screen, or even using a lower resolution monitor, it may only display what is found within these guidelines. Everything outside of the lines would be cut off. You can see here in this image, we've shown two different resolutions to compare side by side. I added a star shape outside of the width guidelines, and for this reason, on the left, you can see that we have a star shape visible. For the resolution on the right, the star shape is cut off and there is much less white space on the page. You can adjust the width of your web page by clicking and dragging on this site width arrow box here. So I can just click and drag on this icon, and I can increase it or decrease it. It's a good idea to keep your content and elements within the site width, and if you truly want to add content outside of these lines, make sure the crucial information is still within the site's guidelines. It's also a good idea to keep a bit of a margin between the content and the site's guidelines. Using the width, we can increase our content section to create more room for another of our three sections at the bottom here. You can see right now we only have room for 3 columns, but I'll adjust the width and create enough room to add one more. So what I can do is go up here, and like I did with the height, I can just click on here and input my own number. So I'll go with 1270. And you can see I've increased the width of my page. And now what I can do to add another column here is I'll select all of this column here. And then I can go up here to the top and select copy and then paste. And I'll drag this over here. I'll just move this out of the way. And I'll move this column into place. And you can see I now have 4 columns, and I created enough room by clicking and dragging on the site width guideline. Just a note, if you adjust the width, that width will be adjusted for the entire site, not just this web page. So finally we have the footer section, and here you'll find the title of the page, the fine print, and sometimes even social media icons. And like the header section, this section will also be found on all pages throughout your site. This section can be adjusted using the guideline at the bottom of this section, right here. So you could just click and drag and change the height. The bottom of your footer section will be the bottom of the web page. And I'll show you what I mean in preview. So I can go to preview by clicking on the preview button up here, and you can see the bottom of my footer section is the bottom of my page. I can't scroll down any further. Again, a reminder, because the header and footer section appear the same on all of your pages, the height adjustments that you make to the header and footer sections will apply to all of your web pages. On the other hand, the content area section is page specific, meaning that your height adjustments to the content section will only affect that particular page. So this was a quick look at using guidelines on your web page. If you have any more questions, feel free to contact us or check out our YouTube tutorials. Thanks for watching.